I'm here with Russ Eddy at the ICB building in Sausalito, and we're going to get an idea of who Russ is. He's an artist, a nature artist actually. So tell me a little bit about you, Russ. When did you first become an artist or know that this is what you want to do?
Well, I grew up in Louisiana and Texas, took art and photography in college, and in the last 5 years I've transitioned from my location scouting business that I've had for the last 15 years into a full-time artist here at the ICB building with the other 100 artists in this building. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how where I'm at.
So when you were scouting, that was where was that? Was it indoors, outdoors? Where did you go with that? It's
within about a 4 to 6 hour area from San Francisco is where they like to shoot, and I mostly concentrate on ad campaigns and TV commercials for the cars, computers, and whatever.
Multi-talented, actually. So you consider yourself the category of artist, but a nature artist, impressed with nature, botanicals, your influence with that. You can see this beautiful, where is this tree, right, by the way?
That's in Oakland at Lake Merritt, and that's a buckeye.
Beautiful.
And it's, I lay on the ground and shoot straight up, so it's just one of the viewpoints and advantages that I tend to kind of hone in on as my own perspective.
Right. So right now, the viewpoint here in Russ's studio is primarily black and white photography. So with these beautiful, did you create these lamps too? These are gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a work in progress. So we're developing that now, and it is controlled by a hue lighting system, so you can turn down the intensity and change the colors, and those are on the way to the market right now. And
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So the variety of mediums that Russ works with, this is black and white photography, but textiles, and what are the other ways that you create your art? And
well, I mainly work with commission, whether I'm working with interior designers or someone that might want to has a business and wants a mural for their yoga studio or lobby of a building. And so I create large-scale, lifelike images of forests to cornfields to you name it, on fabric, on acrylic, metal, wood, and so whatever type of surface that the client is
so commission large-scale works, commission works, which are site-specific, which most artists are not very comfortable doing. So this is the large installation at the yoga studio. The beautiful forest, that was a very large piece.
That was sort of my first break to go to really take my panoramic location scouting career into the fine art photography and working for companies that want to have a large-scale nature forest in their interior home or business.
So when did you get your first break? The history of something that really changed your career or propelled your career?
Well, growing up in New Orleans, building Mardi Gras floats as a kid, learning how to do paper mache, and moved to I moved to Texas, where I was originally born. Went to TCU, studied advanced landscape photography, met some artists who we built a 15-foot sculptured jackalope that has been up 30 years in Fort Worth. That's sort of a national roadside attraction now.
So
that was a break.
I'm kind of like, what is that?
It's a cross between a jackrabbit and an antelope. It has horns and it's a myth, but it was for a pottery company, and Mercedes dealership bought it. The town petitioned to not take it down, so it's been there 30 years. So that was my first break as not realizing I really was going to be an artist until
30 years they left that up.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, it's kind of fun.
So tell us a little bit about your most notable clients, that the commissions or locations or
Yeah.
the collaborations about these clients. So
Well, my ideal client is someone that has multiple homes, that has that loves nature and wants me to create the feel of being outside, inside your home or our business. So that and doing just large scale work is a commission. I've been able to be commissioned on about a dozen projects now. And so ideally to create a piece of art, whether it's on glass or wood or fabric, but it's just being able to really have when you come into my studio, you'll see it's just kind of a real warm and inviting feeling, as though you're out in near woods.
So you
nature.
could install murals and create work that for someone a residence where they don't have that view, you can bring that in to create that beauty in their home.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do that by taking hundreds and hundreds of pictures in vertical, horizontal rows and stitching those together to create this real lifelike looking image, very large scale. And I print most of everything myself now or have. So that's kind of my niche.
So nature is your inspiration. There are other things that inspire you?
Well, artists like Andy Goldsworthy, which is a nature sculpture artist, and growing up with Robert Rauschenberg, he's been a big influence of really seeing and really kind of not settling for just your normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill piece of art, and not really owning one medium, so I don't count myself as really a photographer. It's really a nature artist, cross between a botanical study and fine art, turn-of-the-century painter.
Some of the work that you've created is, maybe next time we'll share with you the other pieces that Russ has created, but you actually take and look into just the tree and you create, what is it, like not a montage, but when you create the closer images and create one work of art from that.
It's just
like not a mosaic, but how do you describe
by taking multiple images in almost a telephotoed view, you're seeing things that you wouldn't see if you were shooting with a wide-angle lens and just taking one image. So sometimes I take 100 images to create the 10-foot piece that's 10 feet tall, and those all go together. So you really see details that you wouldn't normally see by just taking one picture. And so it's not necessarily the camera, it's just it is having a great quality camera, but it's more what you're seeing.
What your eyes, what you see, the way you interpret things. Yeah. So let's talk about your future, some of the projects that you're working on for others to know the scope of your work other than here. There's so many mediums that you work on, but you're also, you're concerned about what the environment, you've got some interesting things that you're working on that are very important. Tell us about that.
Well, one of my clients is a philanthropist and is starting a foundation to work with rethinking of the way we recycle, and mostly working with plastic and designing packaging. And I'm working with them, trying to develop what would be trash or waste in plastic and creating art that kind of says we're saving the world by the circular economy. And so anyway, it's the beginning of a large project that I'm very excited about.
Are you
I can't,
willing to show anything right now today?
well,
Or
I could. I'd like to keep that for the next time and then ask
Okay.
permission by my
yes,
client to be able to share, because it's not been launched yet. And so
Okay.
the branding of that is sort of what I'm working on. It's really excited to work
That
with
sounds really
something that is hopefully going to really make a point of like cleaning the world, saving the plastic,
right. But with
from the
an
oceans
artistic,
to
yeah,
everything, and making it where you start with a plastic bottle and it turns back into a plastic bottle, or packaging for all of what is just thrown away and can't be recycled because of China not taking it anymore, or just because people don't clean it well enough
Right.
for it to be recycled. So all that's changing, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
So I would interpret you as a rather passionate man for causes and the planet and the way you
Well,
do
I mean,
things. So,
counting myself as a nature artist, you kind of have to like
yeah.
walk the walk, and that's, I'm trying to do the best I can, and recycling is a good place to try and
Right.
be part of it.
So Russ is it Open Studios? Is that the one major event that you have here at the ICB, or are there other private events that?
There's the Marin Open Studios, which is coming up, and our building has open studios in the summer and around right before Christmas. So I've been doing that, as well as the Marin Open Studios. So that's the 250 different studio locations, northern, southern, that we're all part of, and that's
Okay.
a group show that happens once a year.
What's
And
the date or the month? Do you recall? Is it summer or what?
yeah, there's I believe it's in July.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it's coming up.
So we'll let everyone
Yep.
know about that
Yep.
because that's something to see here for sure.
And working with my other artists, friends, that we've done a lot of Burning Man projects, which is really large scale. So my 40-foot murals are quite small compared to some of the things that we've worked on, and kind of gives you a good perspective of like how, what can be done if you really set your mind to it.
Yeah, that's great. I am so pleased to have the opportunity
Well, thank
to
you.
interview with you.
I'm
You
really
are
excited
so
about it, and
talented.
Thank you
We'll
again.
have to reach out and there's so much work to see that we're going to have to do a series here
Yeah.
because this is one example of the talented Russ Eddy,
Thank you.
nature artist.
Thank
And
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
coming.
much.